Today's topic is non-finite verbs. Let me tell you, the verbs can be of two types, finite verbs and non-finite verbs. What is the difference between finite verbs and non-finite verbs? Finite verbs are main verbs and they are used as a primary verb agreeing with the subject in the sentence. So finite verbs are usually main verbs. So today I am going to teach you in detail about non-finite verbs. And the definition for non-finite verbs is, it is non-functional verb. Non-finite verbs are non-functional verbs. What are non-functional verbs? They are not functioning as verbs. Though verbs used in different forms in different ways, they are not acting as the verb in the sentence. That is the reason why non-finite verbs are called as non-functional verbs. Okay, so I think the definition is clear to you. And the finite verbs are acting as a main verb, as a verb agreeing with the subject. That's the main difference between finite and non-finite verbs. So non-finite verbs, as I told you, it is non-functional verbs. That means it is acting as either noun, or it is acting either as adjective, or it is acting as a secondary verb. Okay, so according to this definition, this non-finite can be divided, friends, into three types. The first type of non-finite is gerund, and the second type is participle, and the third type is infinitive. In the transformation and synthesis of sentences, the non-finite verbs are usually used for abridging the sentences into simple sentence or for elaborating the sentence. Okay, it is usually used for synthesizing, that is abridging from complex sentence to simple sentence. When we abridge the sentence, shorten the sentence, we usually use non-finite verbs. So it's very important to have a thorough knowledge about non-finite verbs. So non-finite verbs, as I told you, there are three types. First one is gerund. So what is a gerund? I told you already that non-finite verbs are non-functional verbs, though they are not acting as verb, isn't it? So how it is not acting as a verb? I told you it's a verb, but it's not acting as a verb, right? Isn't it very confusing? Yes, I'm going to make it clear to you. Right, gerund is the first type of non-finite verb. It is verb plus ing. I think it's visible to you. It's verb plus ing. It's called as gerund. It is acting as the noun. It is acting partially as a noun in the sentence. So that is the reason it is gerunds are one of the non-finite verbs. Okay, so gerund, what is gerund? It's one type of, there is a first type of non-finite verbs. And it is verb plus ing. Okay, verb in ing form when it is not acting as a main verb in the sentence and it is acting partially as a noun, then it is called as gerund, and we can consider it as a non-finite verb. Why it is considered as non-finite verb? Because it is not acting as a verb, as I told you, right? So verb plus ing. How it acts partially as a noun? As I told you, it acts partially as noun, right? How is it acting as a noun? Whatever acts as noun will answer the question either what or who. Okay? When we are just discussing about a person or about a thing which act as a main subject in the sentence, they are nouns, right? So here I told you ing form of the verb is acting as noun. That is the main subject. So it is called as gerund. Why it is a gerund? Because it answers the question what. Understand, viewers, what. Whatever is answering the question what, and if it is ing form of the verb, it is a non-finite verb, that is gerund. Okay, so I'll give you one example for gerund. Okay, for gerund, if you take one example, you can take it as like, talking during a lecture. Talking during a lecture is not good, right? If this example, if you take talking, see, it's a verb. Talking, it's a doing word, right? But it is an ing form. So it is an ing form and it is in the subject place too. Then I ask the question now. It's very easy to identify. Like, what is not good if I ask you? What is not good? What? What? Yes, it's talking, right? So talking, ing verb, we are getting as answer when we ask the question what, right? And this ing verb here acts as gerund. Okay, why it is gerund? Because it is acting as noun. Whatever verb, whichever verb, ing form, if it is acting as a noun in the sentence, it is not a verb, it is a gerund. And gerund is the first type of non-finite verb. Hope it's clear to you. It's very easy to identify. Then you may be confused, how can we identify whether it's a finite verb or non-finite verb? For that, I'm going to tell you one technique. Very easy step to understand. I'll tell you. ing verb, as if you have watched my tense video, I have told clearly that ing form is always preceded by auxiliaries is, are, was, were. If you have watched my video, you must be having an idea about it, right? So, ing verb always should have some auxiliaries in it. Otherwise, it is not the appropriate way of using. Isn't it? So, here ing is not preceded by any auxiliary. It is used as a subject here. So, it cannot be taken as a verb. It is a non-finite gerund. Because it answers the question, what? So, step 1 is find out ing verb in the sentence. Then, second step is find out if any auxiliary is being used along with the ing verb. If it is not used, then the question is which type of non-finite it is. Then, you have to ask the question, what is not good? Talking during a lecture is not good. So, talking is the answer we got when we asked the question, what? So, talking acts as gerund. Now, moving to the second type, hope gerund is clear. This is the first type of non-finite verb. Now, the second type of non-finite, it's very important, viewers, because non-finite participles, usually it is used for synthesis of sentences in ICSE and ISC board. Right? For synthesis of sentences, like I told you, for shortening any sentence or for changing or transforming from complex to simple, we usually use it as one of the tools, right? Non-finite participles. So now I am going to tell you the second type of non-finite, that is participle. Participle is a second type of non-finite. Here again I am going to tell you this is also V plus ing. Now you may ask me a question, why again ing form of verb? Then will it not be confusing for us to understand which is a gerund and which is a participle? For that also, viewers, I have one answer to you, right? Ing form of the verb can also be a participle or it can be a gerund. Okay, so how to differentiate, right? Ing form of the verb, when it is not answering the question what? Note it. When it's not answering the question what, it is acting as an adjective. Yes, note this point. Adjective. It is partially acting as an adjective. This verb is acting as an adjective. If any ing verb without an auxiliary, it is called as participle. It acts as an adjective. Okay, so if any ing is acting as an adjective describing any noun or any situation, then you should understand this kind of participle ing form is a participle which is a non-finite, non-functional verb. Okay, so adjective. So now I need to give you one example. How is it acting as an adjective? If I am telling you twinkling star. Yes. Twinkling star, it is ing form, right? Twinkling stars. Here stars are being described by ing verb. Twinkling is a verb, right? But here, along with the stars, it is acting as an adjective. Okay, so this is a describing word. This is considered as a describing word. So it is a participle, non-finite, non-functional verb. Okay, so I told you one more thing. It can also, this ing verb as a participle acting as an adjective can also be a situational describer. It can also describe a situation. Okay, for example, I ran away. Why did you run? I ran away from somewhere, but why did you run? If this question you are asking, then I may describe the situation by saying that seeing a snake, I ran away. Okay, seeing a strange man, I stepped back. Okay, so seeing, ing, seeing a strange man or seeing a snake, hearing a strange sound, I peeped out. Okay, got it? Hearing a strange sound, ing verb. Hearing a strange sound. What happened then? It is describing that situation. I heard some sound, so I peeped out of the window to know where the sound came from. Isn't it? So this is called as situational description. So ing verb, that is also called as present participle. It can either act as a describing word for a noun, or it can also describe a situation, as I gave you example, right? So present participle. So now I hope it's thorough to you. First one is gerund, next one is participle. I have only explained you only the first type of participle. Again, participle can be divided into three: present participle, past participle, and perfect participle. I'll tell you now past participle. Okay, now this was present participle that I explained to you. Now I'm going to tell you the past participle. Past participle, that is any verb that is in the second position in the sentence, which is ed or en form, okay, which is not acting as a main verb, can be taken as the past participle form, non-finite and non-functional verb. Okay, so past participle, what can be the example? Like, he waved goodbye. He waved goodbye. Being listening to the speech for a long time. This is present participle or past participle? Yes, this is present participle. See, he waved goodbye. When did he wave goodbye? After listening to the speech, for a long time. So listening, again here ing is used to describe the situation. He waved, why? Then it is giving that answer to that question by describing that situation. Okay, now past participle, I told you, disgusted. He left the place disgusted with the speech. Disgusted. It was a disgusting speech, so he just left the place. Okay, so this is well known about the fact. Well known about the fact. This is also en form, right? So well known about the fact, he quitted from the conference immediately, because the fact which was going on at the conference, it was well known to him, right? So that is acting as past participle. So I hope present participle and past participle both are clear to you. There is no confusion, right? Present participle is ing, which is describing a noun or a situation without an auxiliary. Okay, that is an identification for participle. Then comes past participle, again en or ed form describing any situation. Like, well known about the fact. Why did he leave? Why did he quit the conference? Because he was already knowing about the fact which was discussed in the conference. So well known about the facts, he quitted the conference immediately. So this is past participle. Here also it acts as non-finite verb. Then the third kind of participle is perfect participle. What is perfect? Again, I am telling you, these are all interrelated. So I have already just shared the link of my tense video. Right, in that I have clearly told you about perfect tense. Right, if you know perfect tense very well, it's very easy to understand even the perfect participle. Right, so I am going to tell you what is perfect participle. This is the third type of participle. What is this participle? Participle is a kind of non-finite. And participle, again, it can be divided into three: 1, 2, and 3. Gerund, participle, and infinitive. Participle can be divided into three: present participle, past participle, and perfect participle. Perfect participle, when any sentence beginning with having plus V3, that is called as perfect participle. I'll give you one example. Having read this lesson, I started the new lesson. Suppose you have already read the first lesson. Then after completing it, then you decided to start the second lesson. right? So we use here perfect participle. Identification is very easy, friends. If any sentence is beginning with having plus V3, that is perfect participle, that is not main verb. Okay, it is situational description. Here having plus V3 is acting as an adjective. Okay, so this is taken as a non-finite, non-functional verb. Okay, so this is the third kind of participle I am telling you. So very easy. The main thing is just not knowing the definition or the usage of any grammar topic, but you need to understand the applicational rule too. Okay, that is what I am telling you. Even the identification, how to identify a particular type of non-finite and how to use it, where to use it. These are the things you should usually learn, right? So this is having plus V3. I told you when do we use it? When any task is already being completed. Because of completing the first task, you started the second task. Then we use having plus V3. So having read the first lesson, I started the second one. Having issued so many books, I decided to return all the books. Got it? All the books issued to me, I have already finished reading. So I decided to give. So here such cases we can use it, and we are under the pressure to use it in a simple form. We cannot say so many describing sentences like, I went to the library, I issued so many books, and it was kept with me for a longer time. I read all the books one by one, then I returned it back. This is complex. So many sentences, right? So we have to just abridge it by saying in a simple way, having read all the books issued, I decided to return it back. That's all in one sentence, abridged form, in simple way, in a simplified manner. We have just described this past perfect participle form, non-finite. And again, I'm telling you, I am not explaining you tenses, because it is completely different from tenses. Because tenses, we are learning about finite verbs. And here I am telling you about non-finite verbs. Where do we use it? That also I have told you, this is usually used for synthesis of sentences. Okay, so this is a third type of participle. Non-finite, non-functional verb. So now moving to the next one, last one I am going to tell. Third type of non-finite. Third type of non-finite is infinitive. Infinitive is a third type of non-finite. This is also usually used for abridging and synthesizing the sentence from complex to simple, isn't it? So 2 plus verb. What is the description for it? It is 2 plus verb. And 2 plus verb, when it is used, it is usually used along with the verb or along with the modal auxiliaries. That is called as a bare infinitive. There is another kind of infinitive, I will tell you later. So now let us learn 2 plus verb. 2 plus verb is used as a secondary verb. Any verb. My teacher instructed me what? What? Then you will say to write the project immediately. Right? To write. The coach instructed the soldiers to march forward. To march forward. What? To march. So here 2 plus verb we are using as a secondary verb after the main verb. These are not finite verbs, my viewers. It is non-finite verb. That is non-functional. They are not acting as verb, but they are somewhere functioning or supporting the verb or the subject of the sentence. So 2 plus verb, that is a non-finite infinitive, and you must have learned, you must be familiar with it, you must have come across so many such sentences, isn't it? So this is 2 plus verb, and she asked me to do it. She advised me not to do it. This way also we can say negative way. So these are all 2 plus verb. That is acting as secondary. What is the definition? Gerund, ing verb, acting as noun. Participle, again ing verb or ed or en verb or having plus v3, acting as adjective. The third one is infinitive, 2 plus verb, acting as secondary verb. These all 3 types of non-finites, as I explained to you, they are non-functional verbs. Okay, so now I'll tell you about bare infinitives. There is one more kind of or type of, we can say, bare infinitive you need to understand. Sometimes we are confused. To is not there. To plus verb is not there, and how this verb can be infinitive? How can this be an infinitive? You may be confused, right? So in that case, bare infinitive it is called as. And this bare infinitive is usually used with modal auxiliaries or with the words like, make or made or bade or let. These are the words. Along with make. Like, make, he made him do it. We need not say to do it. He made him do it. He let him enter. Isn't it? He let him enter. Here, what is the meaning of it? He let him to enter. But we need not use here to. But it is understood that this is a kind of infinitive. That is to plus verb. But to is missing there. But still it is considered as an infinitive. Such infinitives are called as bare infinitives. Bare infinitives are also used with the modal auxiliaries. Again, in the tense video, I have explained you the modal auxiliaries. I can do it. He might call me. So call, here the secondary verb, it is acting as a secondary verb. So all these modal auxiliaries will take V1 form, which can be considered as bare infinitive, and usually along with the words like make, bade, had or let. These words also will take the verb V1 verb without to with it, which is called as bare infinitive. Okay, so these are the different kinds of non-finite. So why I have shared this video with you, because you need to have a thorough knowledge of the identification of different kinds of non-finites. Right? If you know the usage of particular kind of participle, then you can easily synthesize the sentences, you can transform the sentences, you can abridge the sentence. It is very easy to shorten the sentence, simplify the sentence. Right? So this is the technique being used to shorten the sentences. Right? So I hope it's clear to you. These are the three kinds of non-finites I have shared with you. That is gerund, participle, infinitive. Don't forget, my friends, gerund, ing, acting as noun. Okay, talking truth. Talking the truth will always save. Right? Talking. What will save you? Talking the truth or telling the truth will always save you. What will save you? Telling the truth. So ing form. So gerund. Then participle, adjective. Remember, it acts partially as an adjective. Right? So that is describing either a noun or it can describe even a situation by ing. When you ask the question why, then you are answering the question by ing. It is situational description. Then comes to plus verb. I told you again, infinitive, two types. Infinitive, to plus verb, or bare infinitive, which is used along with make, let, bade or had. Okay, I had to convince him. Okay, I made him pray. I made him pray to God. Right? I made him what? To pray to God. So to pray we need not use. So I made him pray. So such words like made, let and modal auxiliaries will use V1 as a secondary verb. So it is bare infinitive. Bare means empty. It is just without the verb, without the preposition to along with it. So that is bare infinitive. I hope it's clear to you. Please do watch my videos, tenses and also direct and indirect speech, and this is the third video, non-finite. All these are interlinked topics. It's going to be really usul to you. All the best, friends.